want to thank our sponsor, Mint Mobile, partnering with us for today's video. If you've ever sat and wondered, why is my wireless bill so high? Be assured, folks, you're not the only one. You might already know about those funny commercials with Ryan Reynolds promoting Mint Mobile, but let's be honest, folks, saving money is no laughing matter. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service for as low as $15 per month without having to sacrifice any speed, data, or coverage. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network, and they keep costs low because they sell directly to you online, cutting out the retail stores and salespeople. Why should you pay more than you have to for the same exact network? Click the link in my description. It's www.mintmobile.com/Hawkeyes. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspots. Switching to Mint Mobile is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate almost immediately right from your home, right from the comfort of your own home and from your own phone. Learn more by visiting the website. Again, that's www.mintmobile.com/Hawkeyes. It takes as little as 15 minutes to switch and to experience a great deal on a great network with Mint Mobile. One more time, that's www.mintmobile.com/Hawkeyes. Big Ten preseason polls are officially out. Cleveland.com releasing the results of their annual poll, which replaced the conference's official poll years ago. And Wisconsin and Michigan are the two favorites in the Big Ten, but Iowa not far behind the Badgers. Let's first look at the Eastern Division, according to the media. Michigan getting 27 first-place votes, and quite the hype train here for the Wolverines. Of course, they've beaten Ohio State 2 straight years. Michigan with 27 first-place votes, 248 votes total. Ohio State, of course, coming in second with 226 votes, 8 first-place votes. And how about Penn State, a team Iowa faces this year, with 2 first-place votes, 192 overall. And then, of course, Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Tom Allen's Indiana Hoosiers. How about the Big Ten West? Wisconsin with 21st place votes, 233 votes overall. Iowa, 232 votes, 16 first place votes. So very, very close. Iowa missing out on that favorite spot, that number one spot in these preseason polls, this preseason West poll, by just 1 measly vote. Minnesota got a first place vote, but well behind Iowa. And then Illinois, Nebraska, Purdue, Northwestern rounding out the Big Ten West. You see Big Ten championship game predictions, 15 predictions for Michigan over Wisconsin, 11 for Michigan over Iowa. Would be a rematch of 2 years ago. A lot of people would love to see Cade McNamara versus J.J. McCarthy. Michigan, Minnesota got 1 vote. Ohio State over Iowa got 4 votes. Ohio State over Wisconsin with 4 votes. Penn State with a rematch over Iowa. Penn State over Wisconsin. Both of those matchups getting 1 vote apiece. So a bunch of scenarios of Iowa making the championship game. In fact, a total there of 16 different votes for Iowa in the championship game, not one having Iowa winning the championship game. In fact, if you look through there, every result includes the Big Ten West losing in the conference championship game. There's obviously skepticism with some of these new teams, or I should say new look teams in the Big Ten West, Wisconsin being one, Luke Fickell at the helm. They've got a really favorable schedule. We'll talk about that in just a second, but a new coaching staff and a lot of transition with that roster. There was a first place vote for Minnesota, but they lost a lot of personnel, including their stud running back, Mo Ibrahim, and they've got a new quarterback, although Ethan Kaliakmanis got quite a bit of time last year at the helm. And then, of course, Purdue. What's going to happen with Walters, the former Illinois defensive coordinator? They receive votes ranging from 3rd to last in the Big Ten West, and even Nebraska got a second place vote. You just don't know with Matt Rule at the helm, how quickly can he get it done? Obviously, the hype train never stops in Lincoln. Couple other notes. Iowa DB, that's cornerback Cooper DeJean, has been named the preseason favorite to win the league's Defensive Player of the Year award, edging Illinois defensive lineman Jer'Jon Newton by just 1 vote. So very close here in votes for both Defensive Player of the Year in the conference and favorite to win the Big Ten West. Voters were also asked to weigh in on the toughest environments to play in, which I've always thought was hilarious that the media is voting on which of the environments in the conference are toughest to play in, like they've actually played in these stadiums. But anyways, we'll give you the results nonetheless. Kinnick Stadium was ranked among the most difficult places to play. They were ranked third in the polls behind Penn State, who won this poll overwhelmingly with 17 votes. Ohio Stadium with 9 votes. Kinnick with 7. Michigan with 3 votes. And Camp Randall up in Madison receiving 1 vote as well. Let's take a look at Iowa and Wisconsin's schedule, because I've talked with Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, over on his channel. We've talked about the schedules and how these schedules shape up for both of these teams. I think clearly Wisconsin and Iowa are the 2 preseason favorites. Personnel-wise, I would still give Iowa the edge, because I think you've got more of a known commodity there. A lot of changes, not only with staff, but with personnel at Wisconsin. But let's look at the schedules, because they're both very similar. Very favorable crossover schedules for both of these preseason favorites. You look at the non-conference schedules, of course, that won't impact conference play. You start with Iowa's game against Penn State. That's obviously the most difficult conference game for Iowa, and it's one of the crossover games. They'll play in a whiteout out in Beaver Stadium. They'll get Michigan State at home. They'll get Wisconsin on the road, Minnesota at home, Nebraska on the road, and their other crossover game is against Rutgers at home. So a very favorable schedule. You avoid Michigan, you avoid Ohio State. You look at Wisconsin, very favorable schedule for them as well. They do have to travel to Purdue, which again, very much of an unknown commodity with a different coaching staff, different quarterback, just a different group of guys overall there. They do get Iowa at home. They have to play at Illinois, at Indiana as one of their crossovers, home against Ohio State, home against Nebraska, on the road against Minnesota, and then they get Rutgers at home as their other crossover game. So both of these schedules, 2 of the weaker schedules in Power 5 football, I would say, or at least among the Big Ten and the SEC. I think it's probably unfair to say some of the weaker schedules across the Power 5, but across the Big Ten Conference, no question about it. 2 of the weaker schedules there, because you're in the West Division. You're going to get everybody in your division for the last time this year, because the divisions will be going away next year. And then 3 crossovers again for Iowa: Penn State on the road, Rutgers at home, and Michigan State at home. Wisconsin gets Rutgers at home, Indiana on the road, and Ohio State at home. So I think it's pretty even. Again, I would give the slight edge to Iowa, but I'll give you my complete Big Ten preseason predictions here in the next week. So stay tuned right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Also coverage following Media Day, which starts tomorrow, Wednesday, July 26th. Lots of content, lots of preseason hype as we count down the days to fall camp in just about a week.